Good morning, Russo. Can you hear me? Good morning, Russo. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am like so. You have no idea. I was up all night working on the boot camp, right? And I don't know why, like, now the pictures aren't uploading, like, in Discord or on Facebook from the thumbnail or YouTube, you know? And then this happened, right? And I'm like, this is what we've been covering all week. We
Coming
finally.
up on 1 minute to the
Hang on.
CPI data.
I'm going to keep him on until we get this data. And I'm like, we finally have what we've been looking for all week, what I'm trying to teach you guys, because this is one of the best setups, and it'll make you your most money, So I want you guys to be 100% on this pattern and, the ranges and the breakout of it, because you can make the most money you're ever going to make in 1 2-minute bar, as opposed to the rest of the day, and then you're done. You know what I mean? But can you hear me?
S&P futures getting a big spike
Yes,
here.
I can hear you, and that's a beautiful looking chart.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Wait till I go over it with you. And this is what
Are you
happened.
recording?
So, yeah. So I go to OBS, right? And you see this right here where it says live.
Wait a minute.
I don't.
Expecting plus 0.5% on the core CPI.
Yes.
Plus
Okay,
0.2%
so
on the CPI month of
Last
August.
night I was trying to set up a live countdown off of a YouTube video. So the whole time I'm recording this, or where is it? Maybe I deleted it already.
CPI plus 0.4% versus plus 0.2%.
Yeah, I
core
must have
CPI
deleted it, but it showed
plus
the welcome to
0.6%
Bang Bang
versus
Trading.
plus 0.5%
And I'm like, you
expected.
got to be kidding me, man. So that started my
S&P
morning, and
futures are
then
reversing now
the
and
pictures
coming
aren't
back here,
working. So wow, look at
36.14.
this.
Jobless claims 228,000 above the 225,000 estimate. Continuing claims 1.368 million above the 1.365 million.
I'm gonna turn my
estimate.
brackets off for this.
Futures now,
Well, no, I got a $30, but
plummeting here, 35.
I'm gonna turn them off
46.
to trade this.
Again, the CPI data coming in higher than expected.
Higher than expected. That's a monster bar. I just want to see if we can get a trade on this, and then we'll start covering the trades. Yeah, with that bad number, I mean, we could definitely be seeing lows, and that's what I was thinking all morning, since they were bringing it up in anticipation so they could get a better price,
S&P 500.
I'm doing I'm fixing my other screens.
NVAX, Novavax,
that bar took
COVID-19
out
influenza
everything.
combination vaccine candidate induced antibody and T-cell
Let's
responses
put a cell
against
here.
SARS-CoV-2
Why are my
and
brackets
homologous
on there? I thought I
and
turned them
heterologous
off.
influenza strange. That's November.
There we go.
Victor Alpha X-ray, NVAX.
Let's see if we get fills on those.
Says serious adverse events were rare. That's Novavax, NVAX.
I'm actually gonna put in a buy right there,
Order filled.
and then see if we can't sell it on a
ALBO,
pullback first.
Albireo presents data on greater
Make a quick
efficacy.
little scalp. That was 100 and what?
Treatment.
170
in
bucks scalp.
Mascan,
I got 5 contracts though.
Bravo Oscar.
And again, I'm scalping. Let me shut Bazinga off so I could hear you, you could hear me, and we're good to go. All right, so YouTube's off. That's a massive, massive bar right there. Let's put
Order
another
filled.
buy there, and then take our profit right here. Quick, another scalp. There we
Order
go.
filled.
Up. We just made 300 and something bucks with 5 contracts, right? You can still hear me, right? Nothing shut off?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I'm muted because I'm doing a couple of things while I'm talking, watching.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so I'm just taking quick scalps on this based on how bars move, all right? And I want you guys to be able to do this. I'm going to teach it in the boot camp. I'm going to teach you guys this. I'm going to explain it all.
MNTV.
But I was so why is Bazinga still on?
Momentive with guidance says revenue.
Let me just shut down that channel. Get rid of the whole thing. Again, when I'm scalping, I'm looking for the opening range, right? The bar opened here. So whenever it opens, that opening range is a magnet. So when it goes down, it's going to pull back. When it goes up, it's going to pull back. I'm probably one of the only people who you'll ever see scalping the way I scalp, because I could literally scalp every single bar and make a boatload of money. And some days I'll do that when there's nothing really going on in the market. But, you know, I don't really want to sit here all day scalping every bar. But those two bars, we could have started scalping earlier, but we didn't. But still, good money. 5 contracts. All right, we'll come back to this now. So I really want to explain this here because this is what I've been looking for, right? We've been looking for this. What is going on today? Why is everything not working? I don't understand. Maybe because of price action? That should not matter, though. Ah. Come on, you can't make this stuff up. It's off, so we shouldn't be having this problem. And the price being down there really shouldn't matter at all. It's gonna drive me nuts. Let me get rid of these lines. Russo, can you try doing this with your chart, moving it down and seeing if it's doing the same thing to you? Like not letting you expand it up top? If you don't mind.
I'll have to do that in a minute.
Okay.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, you want me to move my...
Order filled.
Yeah, if I move my short. And pull it down, it pops right back up.
All right, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that until we get price action come
Order
back up
filled.
a little bit. Move these up a
Order
little bit.
filled.
Can you shrink the bottom indicators?
I hear somebody's talking. I can't really hear you though. Whoever's
Order filled.
there. Somebody else
Can
there?
you shrink?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bocce.
Oh, hey,
Can you
Bocce.
shrink? Hey, how are you?
Good.
Can
Yeah.
you shrink the indicators at the bottom?
You can, but it's not going to matter with the chart. It's just because of this big red bar that it's doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like I just been scalping that the whole time. Which again, I'm going to teach you guys how to scalp. I've been kind of, hinting on it here and there, but I'm really going to be upset because I really wanted to go over this this morning. I was so excited, and then I went live to take the trades because we saw what was coming. And you know what? Let's give me a second here. Can you guys see this Thinkorswim screen?
No.
No.
No. Oh, I brought it down here. Let me see if I can. Let me stop the broadcast or change my screen real quick. Why is that? Okay, now can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just go to the 2-minute chart here. It's not on that one, so... All right, let me just go to the 2-minute chart. And there's still something going on with the power. My power keeps going in and out. Are we still live? I hope.
Yes.
Okay. All right, because I want to show you guys exactly what...
I'm not sure if you're still recording. I can't tell.
Good idea. Yeah, it is. The red button's on there. And now I'm so used to the other one, I want this thing... What is going... All right, so we're just going to do this from the 1 day, 1 minute. I don't know why... I'm getting frustrated. All right, here we go. Here's the 2 minute. Now we can go. All right, so... This line right here... Okay, let me open this up. It's so different from going to the other one. All right, so this line was our trend line from yesterday. I just crossed it down, and notice how beautifully we respected it when we came up to it, right? So what I'm teaching you guys with the ranges, and that's another thing I wanted to discuss today, was remember yesterday we took these screenshots, and now it's, oh, here it is. All right, remember I said this would be your, most likely be your range for the rest of the day? Between 10, 9, 10 and 850, and that's almost identical. It stayed in that range yesterday. Here's 10, 9, 60 or whatever. It just came out of that range, but for pretty much the entire day, we stayed within that channel that we drew right off of the bell. So anyhow, let's just look at this. I'm just going to use these arrows, right? So you had this range right here. Let me not use the arrows because it's going to be pointing. All right, you had this range right here. Okay, and like I said, it likes to make a big move and then range, right? Then the move, another big move, and then it ranges. Then a big move, right? And then this one channeled and ranged. And then it ranged, big move, little channel range, right? Channel range. And we'll get more into that, but that's not what I want to show you guys right now. So anyway,
I cannot see you pointing at anything.
You can't? Uh,
No.
do you see the lines I'm drawing like this? Can you see that?
No.
Ay, ay, ay. I just can't win with this stuff. I'm telling you, I don't get it. All right, let me just go back to the other one. If I have to wait, and I'll do a whole recording on it on its own. All right. Okay, so now you can see the trade of 8 again.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now that we're just kind of ranging here, this is really going to drive me up the wall, but I'll try to explain it to you. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but let's see. I have the fills and orders here. You could kind of see them, but I don't like having those on, so I'm going to take them off. Yeah, this is gonna irk me really bad. Let me do what you said, Bocce, and see if that'll help at all. No, because it wants to keep this in. You know what? Let's see if we can move that out of the way, and then maybe it'll do it. Ah, beautiful. Nope. Well, we'll get it where we need it. It's enough to show you guys. If we can get that red bar off of here, we should be able to expand it. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so this is good. Great, 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 great. Okay, so here we have a range. Right? We have the upper, the lower, and then you would have your no trade zone, right? And then you'd have your equal parts to make your doji candle. You guys see this coming out and all this. This was an abnormal come out at 3 a.m. They kind of did what they did yesterday at the bell, right? They kind of tanked it at 3 a.m. and then they brought it back up. So from that range, from the top of this range to here, and if you mark off the halfway point of the range, notice what we started doing, right? We started consolidating above the halfway point for the breakout, right? Again, it's always going to happen at the far right, at the end of the range. You know the range is coming to an end when you start seeing this, all right? And then we had that breakout, but the problem with that one, again, you could have traded it, right? Let me see if I can open this up even more. And hopefully it's making sense now that we're talking about it over and over and over. Let's see if we could open this up so we could discuss it. And let's get the left in here. Actually, let me go this way. A horizontal line. And let's just say this. No, we want to go by the candlesticks. So there's the top of your range, right? Here is the first candle to break out, right? We would have entered on this candle with our stop below this candle, which would have been a risky trade because this is a big loss, right? It's a big loss. But if you're going to enter on the second candle, that's where you want your stop. Okay? But you had it's a high probability setup, right? This area, I'm telling you now, is one of my favorite areas to trade. All right? Because the market ranges so much. And when you pay attention to what I'm teaching you, and you're not getting caught up in the wish-wash of the middle of the range, and you're not trading it, right? You could be buyers down here, you could be sellers up here, but when you're looking for that breakout, right? Remember, big bars leading up to a resistance area are never going to work, okay? Even like right here, this was more of a sideways range, right? And in theory, this was actually a bear flag, right? So in theory, they trapped a ton of people in this trade on this red candle, because this is a perfect example. I mean, this is a bear flag, right? So everybody who went short here put their stops here, which is what caused this little bit of explosion. But again, look at the time period, right? There's not very many traders that are trading at 11:30 at night. Okay, so that's why you don't see these big moves like that in the overnight session. Now notice the London session at 3 a.m. Look at the moves you get, right? Okay, from 3 a.m. compared to this time. And I believe this right here, and don't quote me on it, but I believe this is the Asian session. I think it starts at like 1:30ish, something like that. So you got the Asian and then the London and then, you know, our session. So anyway, here I go again, getting off track. Back to this. This is what I've been teaching you guys. I've been teaching you the ranges, and I was so excited, and I'll show you where. I went to record it, and I wanted y'all to watch it before we started, and it didn't record. It recorded, but it recorded a countdown timer that I was trying to install last night. So, anyhow, now let's go to the one that we took. Get that off there. Right there. All right, so we came out of this range. We started that up range. We had this range. We broke up out of this range, right? Then we pulled back to do what? To retest the range for the move higher, right? You always see me telling you we're looking for this move, right? To the upside or the downside. If you're watching the pre-market game plans, that's what I'm telling you you're looking for. Picture perfect. I mean, this couldn't have been any better. And we haven't seen a really good move like this because of the overall market conditions. But here's why it worked. Okay? Remember, I keep telling you guys, in these little areas, right? You're looking to go small because you still have resistance to the left. Right? We haven't had a good area where we don't have resistance to the left. So even on that breakout, right? Your profit target was only right here. Because if you look all the way to the left, right, this is your next level. This was your level that it broke out of, and this was your next level. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you could trade them, but keep them tight, short, and small, right? Because you don't have much room. Let me take that off so you could, hopefully you guys can see this, but let me take it off and draw a regular line so you can see the tightness that you have, okay? Look at that tight profit target you have because you have this area to the left, right? Now, and this, what I'm going to show you now is better than we've seen in a long time, but it's not like it was just a few months ago, okay? Now, in the next range, and why I was so excited was because we have all this space till our next look left, right? And that is 70 points. Notice in this whole area, there's nothing clear. We are free and clear until this point. All right? That's why I got so excited. That's why I went in big. That's why I took, you'll see, well, I already took them off. We can put them back, but, well, I can't put them back and expand it, so it's going to be hard for you to see. But it's just what I tell you. I did the 5 contracts. I took 80% off right in this area. Okay? Right in this area. Then I let one run, and the second one run here, filled it beautifully. It went much higher. Much, much higher than I anticipated it. Okay? But that's what you're looking for. All right? When you're looking left, and that's why we're not really, I told you, small size. Small size. Why? Because we have such tight ranges, you're not going to get much out of that move when it does break, just like right in this range. Just like right here. Look at that little profit, right? Let's open it up and scroll it down. You guys see the difference of what I'm talking about now? You don't have much room once you break to make money, right? Your ceiling is right here. Now here, man, your ceiling is until up here, right? And because of that, and I think this is why it moves so far and hard on that one bar, is because so many traders trade this pattern, right? Professional traders, and they haven't seen this much space in a long time, so they hit it with everything they had. And look at what it did. Look at that one bar. It went from 890 almost up to 950, right? A 60-point move in one bar, right? And that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm talking about. That's what normally happens, right? But with the market and all the uncertainty in the world, this is why we're focused on small size, small position, and tight take profit and stop loss, right? And you couldn't have asked for anything better, because even on your entry bar, right? Look at the small risk. This is what I'm talking about, guys. If you get anything I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about, right? You would have entered right here on that red bar. Let me see if we can blow this up. Okay? This bar closed right here, but it closed above. It closed outside of this range. We were in the top 50% of the range, right? Remember the bottle rockets, right? Okay? Remember those bottle rockets. When they take off, whew, they take off and then they pull back, right? So when you're launching off from the 50% pad ground level, as opposed to the ground level at the bottom of the range, right? That you're gonna fizzle out before you can break out. Okay, so with this much, guys, I wish I had it recorded. I'm so bummed about it, but it's still okay to be talking with you about it now. But this is exactly what I'm telling you. You would enter this trade, okay, this bar closed, you would have been in on this red bar with your stop loss here. All right, that's about a 25-point stop loss. So with one contract, your risk would be $50, okay? But your reward, if you caught the whole 60-point move on one contract, would have been $120, right? $2 per thing. No, and this would have been 80, 90. Your stop, let me see. Your risk to reward on this, let me get it right. Would have been $20. That would have been your risk, $20. Okay, you're risking 20, and you could have potentially, let me not say potentially, you would have been looking to close it right here anyway. So 90, 100, 110, so that's $60. You're risking 20 to make 60, right? And that is a good risk to reward in an area like this, but that's why I went with 5 contracts. I would have went with a lot more, but I just don't want to, I didn't want to have a big number like this with you guys, you know, and I was just scalping those numbers. But this is what you're looking for. This is the golden setup. When you have all this space until your next resistance level all the way to the left, right? Remember this resistance here, you don't have much room to run. So don't even, you know, if you're going to take this, you're looking to get maybe $8, you know? It's not going to move like it needs to, right? because you're looking left all the way back there, and your overhead resistance is right there. But in this one, the next level was 50 points away, right? And that's why it shot up, because so many people have been waiting for this. I guarantee you, if we look at the bid-ask volume profile, the amount of buy-sell orders that are in that bar, you know what I mean? I mean, oh, goodness. But do you guys understand what I just showed you guys?
Yeah, Bang Bang, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the time frame that you're looking on to look to your left? Like, you made...
The 2 minute.
That's 2 minutes right there. So you made that first line at the midway this morning, and then the top one all the way to the left this morning then.
Yeah, these 2 lines I did this morning. These I didn't pay attention to because I eyeball it when I'm doing it by myself when I'm not live. You know, I have Thinkorswim charts open, but when I'm live, you know, I'm not really even looking to trade this tiny little breakout, only because there's not much risk to reward, you know. So let's get back over there and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say you did, right? Let's say you did take this breakout, right? The first bar to close above it was this one right here. So if you entered on this, your stop would be right here. All right?
Right.
And your take profit, you never want to let your take profit run to the top of it. And let me backtrack a minute. In these market conditions, okay, understanding and identifying market conditions is 90% of the game. All right? And I'll use that figure of speech lightly because, you know, 50% of trading is understanding the markets, charts, patterns, things like that. The other 50% is bettering yourself. You know, it's controlling your emotions, controlling your inability to wait for the right setup. You know, and that's one of the hardest parts of trading. You know, learning to trade is pretty much really bettering yourself, becoming a better you. And I don't know,
Right.
like, I'm incorporating all that into the boot camp because it's the truth. You know, if you're somebody out there who you can't control your bad habits, you have bad tempers, you know, you just do a lot of things that you do spontaneous, you know, learning to be a successful trader is going to be hard because trading requires you to keep your emotions under control and in check, right? And trading requires you not to sit on your hands and when you get in a trade, right, and you watch it go all the way up and then you enter here, right? And so many people do that because they're scared to get in. When you know what you're looking for, when you see that pattern set up, you hit it with everything you have. You don't wait. That's what your stop loss is for. That's why you don't lose one bar, right? Do you guys realize, and you can go research this, Google it, you can even call hedge funds if you want. You know how a lot of these gurus tell you we have an 80% win rate, we have a 90% win rate, our algorithm has an 89% win rate, right? You know how they tell you that? Go into any hedge fund, ask anybody that works for a hedge fund or the large companies, you know what their win rate is? 30%. And they make billions of dollars. You know why that is? Because they're not risking much to make their risk to reward is just what I'm teaching you here. They're risking very little to make very large profits. So one trade that they win will cover 100 losses. You know what I mean? So they could be wrong 99% of the time and still come out ahead, making only one right trade. And that's what separates winners from losers is your job as a trader is to protect your capital, right? And if you start taking trades without stop losses and you start getting in trades like you got in here, right? I was watching the bid ask earlier today, and you would be amazed at how many people were buying up here, even on this candle, buying up here, you know? First of all, you know, you did launch off from here, right? But you should have been buying here, right? This was your buy area because this is where you broke this channel, right? This range. This is the range. This is where you should have been looking, right? This should start getting you excited when you see that, right? Then you're wait.
And if you wanted to mention something about the VWAP, the 20 and the 200.
Oh yes. Think of the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, as the bank, okay? And I know that sounds weird, but if you think of it as the bank, I think it'll help you out a lot and make you become more, I don't know how to say it, but think of it as a bank where the money changes hands, right? Because the VWAP is where the market makers are buying and selling, all right? They are sure they're selling down here, but they're exchanging that money with all the losing traders, right? They have to do stuff like this in order to bring the price back up, right? Because they're selling all their shares up here, right? And then they'll put big sells there, and then that's it. They're out. And what do? They let the buyers come back in, right? They'll let the buyers come back in, and each time, let's say 10,000 buyers bought this bar. They'll put 1,000 shares right there. It'll come back down. 10,000 buyers bought this bar. They'll sell, 2,000 more shares. They'll quietly be selling all the way up, and then they'll hit it with 20, 40, 50,000 shares around the bankers, where the banks do business, right? And then they'll let it fall down because they're not going to sell it on the way down, right? They're going to let the traders do that all on their own. All right, so you want to start thinking like they do, okay? Think of it, if you had billions of dollars, would you just keep selling down here? Would you sell here? Absolutely not, because you're going to lose money. Where would you sell? You'd let the bankers do that for you, and you'd pay them to do that for you. You see what I'm saying? So that's how they move this money around, right? They're using market makers, and market makers make a fortune, right? If you were a market maker and I came to you and say, "Hey, we have 10 billion shares we gotta unload today, right? We have all these retirement accounts, everybody wants to close it out. We gotta unload these shares quick before, everybody else jumps on board and starts unloading all theirs too, right? So we'll give you, let's just say it's 0.02 cents per share if you can sell it at or near the bank. All right? If you could sell it at or near the volume weighted average price, that's what we'll pay you per share. Now you times that times, 1 billion shares, you're making a lot of money day in and day out. You see what I'm saying? It's not like they're paying them $10 a share, right? They're paying them pennies on the dollar, but that adds up very quickly. So think of the VWAP as your banker's area. All right. Think of that's where. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. On your chart, is the yellow or that light green?
Yellow is the VWAP.
Okay.
All right, and that's the same thing. With this bid ask volume profile. Let me show it to you. I've never seen it before. I've always wanted to use it, and I've been talking with Russo about it. But this right here, let me go in here and get rid of all the noise so we could just see the pure dollar amount. All right, let's take this off. Apply, save. That did nothing. All right, now we got to open these up, and it's really terrible that it's like this. Now let's click it again and get the bar histogram off, apply, save. So now we got nothing but numbers, right? So this is what's happening inside each candlestick. All right, this is your buy and sell orders. And what I was telling Russo is that you can pretty much do this math in your head, right? You can clearly look at this and see there. I took pictures of certain areas today because I want to calculate it all later on in the day and just confirm. But every time I've done it, it's done exactly what I thought, okay? You can clearly see there is way more buyers than there is sellers, right? I mean, if you just did a quick number, you could see there's a lot more buy orders than there is sell orders in this candle. And what happened? It went down. Even here, there's like next to no sellers, and there's a ton of buyers, and it's still going down. So what is that telling you? The big banks, the hedge funds, the money makers, right? Just like I said earlier, to the downside, they're selling in to the buy orders, right? They're selling in. So this is in essence giving you a behind the look. This is telling you what smart money's doing, right? Because there's no way these candles should be going down with this many buy orders to the upside, right? So the only thing that would cause that is what we can't see. And that's, the black box information, and why that's legal. I get it to an extent, but, for them to be able to manipulate the markets like that, this gives you great insight into how to never be wrong. Just using these, but I don't like the fact that you have to stretch them open your entire screen to see one bar. So I'm working on that to see what we can do. Notice I figured out how to get rid of all the lines and everything, so you just see the pure numbers. So yeah, so now let's back this out and see what area that was in, right? Okay, and again, that's what's bad about being somebody who doesn't really know how to trade. So this was in that area. Let's look in this area and see how many people got caught up in the buying on this bar. So this one seems about right. This does seem right. There was more sellers in here, but you imagine being this guy buying 13 contracts to go long when there's overhead resistance right here. Where did he sell them? Did he hold them and just blow up his account? You know what I mean? But this is why you don't want to be in these trades like this once the move happened, you're done. Mission complete, mission accomplished. Wait for the next setup, right? Don't go in and out, in and out, in and out, and lose your money, right? I mean, that would be foolishness. You're getting the freshest meat on the market when you do what I say to do here, right? When that first candle closes, right? This was the first candle to close. You would have entered right here, stop loss right below this candle, because this was the first candle to close outside of that range, right? Look at all these people. Look at how many people bought because of this is what you call the fake out breakout. This is why I always tell you, wait for that candle to close, right? That would have been a really nice looking strong bar, but in an area like this, again, with the market conditions, you always want to wait for the first candle to close, because if this candle did close that high green, this would have blew right through there. You know what I mean? Because of that overhead resistance. But that's them doing what they do. They're taking your money, right? They're taking money because professional traders can't make money if there's no new traders in the market. Where's the money going to come from, right? You see what I'm saying? Money has to change hands. It's not going to come from the market makers. So you have to have inexperienced traders in the market to take their money. Does that make sense to you? Because
right.
you got go ahead.
That a quick question. So that candle right there with all the market makers. So if people bought into that candle and waited for, a couple candles over towards the right where it went up, by the time it got there, it would have been zeroed out then.
Well, let's look at that. Let's see what we did here. All right, you're still in the upper half of that area, but at the same point, let's just say you bought this, because this is where I'd be closing out because we're so close, right? That range is right here, and I said you don't want to be taking your profit all the way there, right? So we would be closing out about halfway. So yeah, if they bought here, right, and they held it, that's just something I would never teach you guys to do that. Right? I wouldn't tell you to do that, because if you bought here, I guess, it would have worked for you, because if you knew how to trade, if you bought that candle, you would have put your stop here, but that would have been a massive risk to reward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're risking, all the way down here, the length of that whole bar. This bar is just about the same size, and with that area above you, that's an awful lot of risk to take. You know what I mean? So you would have been better off waiting for that bar to close. Not better off. This is how I'm teaching you to trade. So you would not have touched that, right? And then this bar closed. So I would imagine that most of these people that did buy here probably would have got scared right here and closed out. You know what I mean? Because they already lost a ton of money, and they probably pushed this bar down all by themselves, because you're looking at 77, I don't know, an $8 or $9 move, but 40, 40, 70, 70, 80, that's a lot of contracts. You know, so that's a lot of money. You times 80 times $2. What's that, 1,600?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's an awful lot of money to
Yeah.
lose. So
It's probably a lot of newbies, right?
So you want to be smart about it. You know, wait for that bar to close, stop loss here, and then your take profit. Again, I would have put my take profit on this probably right about here. So doing that, it would have worked out perfect, right? If you
Right.
let's see if we can get all that in one screen so you could see it clearly. All right? Let me open that up so we can see the bars. Here we go. Enter, you would have entered right here, right? As soon as this bar closed, you would have put your entry right above that bar. So let me just, I don't know where the stock is at, but I doubt it's here. So this is what you'd want to do. This is how you would want to set that up. You'd want to right click somewhere up here, put buy, right? And then drag your buy order right there. See, now my buy order is identical with the close of that bar. So if it opens and pulls down, as soon as it goes above this bar, you're filled. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you dragged and dropped your order. Your stop loss you could put right here. Let me draw the brackets. Let's do it right. Yeah, it's nowhere near us, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. Alright, so we will turn the brackets on, alright? And this is what I really like about this touch and grab, right? You put your buy order in, and I didn't turn them on, apparently. Yeah, they're on. Where are my... Oh, we have the screen so far up. They're really far away from each other. Alright, so you drag your buy order, you drop it. Your things automatically move. Now you just adjust them. You put your stop loss right there. Your take profit about right here, right? Perfect setup. It would have never came back to take you out. You would have got filled immediately, and that's why we're not looking to be greedy, right? We're not looking to make it all the way to the top, because if you did that, look what would have happened. Your stop loss would have got hit on the very next candle, right? Again, it's under certain market conditions. Now, if we look at the other setup that I took, again, the reason why this is not an appealing setup is because you don't have much room to go. Because of when you look left, this is your ceiling, right? So it's like, you know, just quick scalp, maybe $2, $3, that's it, right? And you could do that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But with a small account, like, let's just say we had $100,000 account, right? Yeah, I would take 20 to 40 contracts on this trade. I would have done that right here with a stop right here. Quick. You know, in and out. Quick. $2 with 40 contracts. How much is that? 80 bucks? For less than a 30-second move? Right? Why not? Take it. You know it's going to work. You know you have room to go here, right? You're not being greedy. You're asking for 65% of you're asking for what, 45% of that move? You're not asking for the whole thing. But that's how I want you guys to become and start thinking, you know? But with a small account, it's better, you know, if you're going to take that trade and you want to practice, take a practice account. Put your stop or do your parameters here just like this, $7.50, right? I leave that like that because when I'm scalping in the time frames, you know, that's just how you have to scalp. You want your stop far, far away. You don't want to get it taken out the second you get in, you know? But let's look at the other one. Go ahead.
Can you go back to the bracket so I can take a picture of it and set mine, please?
Yeah, if you come up here to brackets, you got your on and off. And you can do your value, show in value. I do mine in dollar value, but you could do tick or delta price. $3.75, $15. I have no idea why that would show that. That's really weird because we have it set for the dollar amount of $7.50. I don't understand that. I don't know. And then let's say you're trading the 5 contracts, you could just add a bracket name. Wait, let's see. No, you add 2, 3, 4, 5. So now when you do it, watch what'll happen. let's just go, they're all going to come up next to each other, but all 5 are there, right? So you could set them all for a different dollar amount. So in theory, you could set them up for your 80% take profit, and then your 2 runners. You could set it up like that, right? You could do that, and that's wonderful. I didn't even think of that earlier. I'll have to set that up and take a few trades, and then your stop or your take profit, the same thing. There's going to be 5 of them there, and I got 5 contracts, right? So you could set them up, drop and click. This way, it's ready. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is drop. You know, I like this idea of having it ready to go. Once that bar closes, I drop it right on that bar. Boom, you're done, right? You don't have to touch it. So yeah, just right up here, and you can turn it on or off. Now, let's go. Is that okay for you, Russo?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so here was the golden trade. Here it is. Look at this beautiful thing. I think we moved this bar. It should have been like right. I don't know. Let me open these up and let's see. Nope, that's right. It was probably more just like that. So here, same scenario. Now we're gonna have a look inside that candle, which is cool. Same scenario. But they're so kind of big. All right, so let's look at this. All right, and actually, now that we're here, man, we would have been golden. Why is this not working? There we go. We would have been golden because look at this. These 2 candles are identical, right? Identical. So even if you did your drop, right, and your buy, you wouldn't have got filled till this 3rd bar. You could have moved your stop from there to here. You see what I'm saying? You would have wanted to enter on that one and put your stop below this one. Well, you would have got filled on this one. Your stop goes right here. You're talking minimal loss on that trade. 83 to 45, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. $8 risk to a $70 reward. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what I'm telling you, right? This thing shot up till no tomorrow, and like I said, because people are waiting for setups like that. The patient are patiently waiting. You know, this was. We haven't seen something like this in a while. That's even what I'm talking about at the opening bell and the opening range. There's not much room to go in any direction. Even yesterday, like I said, you know, the whole selling off thing, I felt like if they were going to do it, they would have done it. If you look at the markets right now, it's still not selling off. You know, it sold off, yeah. We had that massive bar, but it's dead in the water. It stopped. So it's got to make you think, what's going on? You know, what are they waiting for? What do they know that we don't know? That's my question, right? Because why are they holding this market up? Is it for the election? I don't know. You know, there could be a million reasons. Could it tank at the open? Yeah, it could. I don't know, but it just seems like they're propping this market up for some reason. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. But again, I am still upset that it wouldn't let me. That it didn't record. It recorded, but it just recorded that screen. But man, look, this is what I'm talking about, guys. All right? When you clearly see, and that's why this bar flew through that area, right? It went whoo, all the way. You couldn't have predicted that. This is actually another level. If we shrink it down, that was like the next price target level, I think. I didn't go up that high. But let's come down here and mark that off. Because right after there, we had this level right here, and let's mark that off. Now let's go back, but that could be why. You know, big strong move. You know, but I wasn't anticipating that, and I didn't care. We still made a lot of money, right? You can't predict that stuff. Now you guys see where I just went with that bar, right? How we drew that line, and look at that, clear as day, guys. It doesn't get much better than that. Get this out of my face. I'll have to take these off, but look at that. It almost broke. I mean, it sailed right through the first ceiling, right? And I'm surprised it didn't make it to this ceiling. It looks like it did over here. Oh yeah, that was when the news first came out. But again, if you look at, let me get off of these charts so you can see what I'm talking about. I apologize. Okay? So here we are. And it did with that news. And why do you think it did that? First of all, the news likes to do that. It will always go the opposite direction on major news like that before it goes the other way. And so many traders make a lot of money off that. But again, if you look at this as a range, we're up in the 50 percentile, and it's doing exactly what we're looking for, right? And this, I wouldn't have touched this because of the news, right? You don't want to be an idiot, and forgive me for saying that word, but you don't want to make bad decisions and trade during the news. I mean, that's just dumb. All right, I trade, within that bar, but again, I know what I'm looking for, and I'm scalping. I'm not putting a lot on the line. Even when I traded the NQ making $1,000, I wasn't putting much on the line. You know what I mean? Oh, let me cancel all and exit before I get filled. So anyhow, yeah, that, I was so excited to see this. It was just so beautiful. We took the trade, but that's what you're looking for. Notice your risk to reward here on the breakout, and your risk to reward here, right? Or I should do the candles this way. Very small risk to reward. Okay? Very large risk to reward. So large, pew! And I'm shocked that it didn't hit that resistance level. But again, more traders would have been on that if the news wasn't so close. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people just won't even trade today because they're so fearful of the markets. Again, that's 50% of being a trader, right? You have to control your emotions. And when you know what you're looking for, you don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? You have to get in. You have to trust your instincts, right? In your no trade zone, right? I don't trust the 20 in the no trade zone in the NQs, right? I just don't. You're in a range, right? You're in a range. Even though it's coming near it, there's certain parts of that range that we don't touch, right? You're better off trading the top 50% of the range, waiting for the breakout, entering at the same exact area as the breakout on the next bar with your stop loss here. Again, this one would have been right here. I was super excited today. I didn't even pay attention to any of that. I don't, like I said, when you know, it's like seeing, how can I explain it so you guys understand the excitement? If you're like a chocolate lover and you hadn't had chocolate in 6 months and you go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, you're like, you don't care what anybody's thinking or doing. You are hopping out of that car, you're running to that Hershey factory, and you're going to have a blast. That's how it is in trading when you know. And that's what I'm saying. You can make more money taking 2 trades a day like this than most people will make in a week. All right? And all you did was trade 2 minutes of the day. Right? I mean, Russo, you were here. I made the 500 on this trade, and then we made the rest on these 2 bars. So in 6 minutes, we made $1,000. Most people go to work a job for 80 hours and don't even make that kind of money in 2 weeks. Right? Now, this is a demo account, but this is what I've been doing every day. This is even on my Thinkorswim account. But this is what it's about. It's not about, I'm here, I'm in, look it up, here's a green bar, let me buy, and then boom, it knocks you out. Now you're like, well, okay, I'll take this green bar. Okay, I'll take. If you don't have a plan, if you can't speak to why you're getting in a trade, if you don't know why you're taking this trade, if you don't know where your stop loss belongs, if you don't know, what you're looking for, you're just getting in a trade, for what? You know what I mean? If you can't answer questions to yourself or speak to that trade, which is why I want you guys, soon going forward, hopefully you can find some of these and tell me why you got into it. What made you just decide to take that trade? Was it a range? Was it a range? Right? I want you guys to be able to tell me. Well, I took it because it was a range. I marked off my no trade zone. We were in the top 50%. I looked left. We had our resistance line. We had a candle break through. I entered on the second candle. I put my stop here. I put my take profit here. And I won. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So being patient is 90% of the game. You know, we've sat here before for that one day. Remember when I made $1,000 in that day? I sat in that trade the whole day because the bars we were just looking at down here, it showed big money was involved. And I kept telling you in the video, look, big money, big money. And even though it came down close, it never took it out. And then finally it went up. But in that whole entire time, it was like, what, an hour and a half? Right? And had I not been showing you that, I wouldn't even touch the market then. You know, there's just, you have to be patient. Some days you'll sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and you won't take a trade. But you know what? You'll leave that day better off than the guy who came to the table and took 10 trades and lost half of his account. You know what I'm saying? You'll do much better than 90% of the people out there if you just wait. Again, if you go walk into not a hedge fund, but a prop firm, all right, and you see their traders, man, they got basketballs, hoops up in there. They got big break rooms. You know, they're not taking trades all day. You might see them take 2 or 3 trades in the entire 8 hours they sit at that table, which is why they have other things to keep them occupied. You know, because you will go nuts just sitting there staring at the charts. But what you do once, and we'll get into that, is you set alerts. So then you don't have to sit and stare at the chart. You could say, okay, this is our resistance. When price breaks this price right here, 10,890, you set an alert. You create an alert. And then you get an alert sent to your phone. So when you get that alert, hopefully you're close by, right? Or you could trade it from your phone, because at that point, you'll be able to take that trade with confidence, right? When you're getting alerts sent to your phone, you could trade from your phone all day. But I wouldn't recommend anybody trade from their cell phone ever until you know exactly what it is you're looking for, right? Because you don't have the full picture. You're not going to have all the information that you need trading from your phone. So, has this made sense to you guys today? Is it starting to sink in a little bit?
Yes. I just have a quick question.
Absolutely.
You mentioned something about at the opening range. For the opening range, can you explain that again about the candle acts like a magnet at opening range? I didn't get that.
Well, I don't know about the candle. Oh, hang on one second. Let me remove all these. Go ahead, Russo.
You explained so well what you're looking for out of us. That was phenomenal. It was about 2 minutes ago. Hold on. About setting. Hold on, I'm coughing.
No worries.
Setting ranges. Looking to the left. Where we're setting our stop losses. Can you quickly go over that again? That was just priceless.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for you guys. That's why I've been teaching you this only for the last couple of days. We've been talking about it little by little, but this is right now what I want you guys to focus on. Just this strategy and this strategy only for the time being, because in these market conditions, this is what's working, right? This is the most profitable strategy that's working. And now here we go at the opening bell. So I'll show you. All right. So now we have plenty of information. All right. We have the top of our range. So we're going to mark that off. And let me bring this up a little bit more. Let's put it right here in the middle. Perfect. So this is kind of cool that we have nothing to the left or right of us. Okay. So we have... let me not even use this. Let me use the tools that they have here, okay? So here to the left, hit your horizontal line, put it right on top of that candle. I'd actually go to the wicks. Go to the right, it'll draw it out for you. Horizontal line, go right here to the double bottom, draws it out for you. Okay, now, And let's use their tools again. Shapes, rectangle. What you want to do is kind of, you see this candle and this candle kind of have about the same height. And then down here we got the bottom here, but in this area, right? Where the range is the tightest, you're going to want to draw a rectangle. Oh, come on. Draw a rectangle. Mine is green because of what we use it for. I've been using this for myself. Let me get... You guys could use the rectangle. Let me just go in and get rid of that. And let's make it white. Let's get the array off. We got that. Apply. Save. There we go. Alright, so that's what it'll look like. Now, in this area, this is where you're not going to trade. You're not going to mess with that area. You've already identified that it's in a range. Okay? You have the top of your range and you have the bottom of your range. So now what you would be looking to do, and let me do this because I want you guys looking at this stuff too. Not so much that's garbage in my opinion. All right? Get used to the RSI, your 50% line, right? Price has been under it the entire time, but we're getting divergence. Okay? We're getting divergence in the RSI and price. If you could see that. Alright, so use the tools that you have. And I really want you, especially you two, you've been here every day, and I'm sure there's other people here and on YouTube. Not counting you out. I'm not, but you know, I'm just talking with the two ladies right now.
Jason is with us too right now. Jason's here.
Oh, welcome, Jason. I was wondering who Tesla was. I'm like, who's Tesla picture? Good to see you, brother. All right, so I want you guys to get comfortable with this and take, you know, make sure your thing is on one and take a trade. And don't take that trade until you have a reason to take it, okay? If you're at the bottom of this range and you feel like you want to take a trade back into the range, you know, go ahead, take it. But just be able to speak to it. Why did you take it? You know, was your RSI down here at the time and you figured it would go back up? Or was the RSI at the 50% point? Right? Because if the RSI is at the 50% point, the higher probability trade would that it would continue to go to the downside. So if you were to take a trade like that, you would want to wait for the candle to close. Right? If the RSI is here, and you know, I don't want to confuse you guys with that. Let's just focus on trading a breakout. And everything I've taught you so far to the upside is also true to the downside. Okay? So we're not just looking to go long, but now look at what we're doing. We're trading in the bottom 50% of this range. You guys see that? Right? Our new top is now our ground, right? So these, just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff, right? So now is this candle going to close outside? And if so, is it a good position according to the RSI, right? I want you guys to kind of use the RSI. I really don't use it. I don't look at it when I'm trading because typically the trades that I'm taking, it doesn't matter where it is because the trade's going to work when I'm taking it, if that makes sense to you. But until you get there, you know, look for other pieces of information. You know, don't just take your gut feeling for it. If the RSI is all the way down here, you know, in no man's land like it was right here, right? That's why I was confident in shorting it back to the upside for some money, right? And because it could always go down, right? And ride sideways, okay? But if there's no reason for that, depending on the time frame, and I don't want to confuse you guys. I'm just going to zip it. But anyhow, if you want, try and take a few trades. Just be able to speak to why you took the trade. Don't enter it because you just think, okay, it's oversold, I'm going to buy it. Right? What's the reason you're going to buy it? Like I said, did this candle close outside the range and you were buying the next candle to go short? If that's what it is, hey, at least you're speaking to it. Did you put your stop right here? right? If you did all those things and you feel comfortable taking that trade, take it, right? Don't wait, don't hesitate to take it. If you're looking for a quick scalp, take the trade, right? If we're range trading, right? If this comes back up here and then, trades in the middle and then comes up and you feel like you want to scalp this to the downside, go ahead, do it, right? I mean, especially, what do I tell you guys, right? Especially if you see this. If you're down here on the bottom, right? What is starting to happen here? If you see that, starting from where? Starting from the ground floor, man, take that trade to the downside, right? Don't hesitate, don't wait, even if it breaks above, because why? Because large bars leading up to a resistance area are not going to work. And I don't want to say not, it could, but it's not very likely, right? That's like a 98% failure rate because the momentum has already took off the ground, the fireworks have already started, and they're about to fizzle back out, right? That's why we're looking for the fireworks to start here, to the upside or the downside. We've only been focusing on the upside because that's the way the market's been unfolding before us, right? But it's the same. So you could trade it either to the upside or to the downside. And it might be confusing for you to go short right now. So I'd rather you just focus on looking for a positive long using the strategy that we talked about all this week, right? I want you guys, don't do this one, but if you're, and I don't even want to say if you are, but if you're serious about trading, you should be watching the markets for at least 2 hours a day, right? Because that's what it's going to require, even more than that, honestly, if you want to become successful and you want to get an understanding on how price action moves, But most of you guys have been looking at the charts, so I can, I understand, you know what I mean? You've put in time already, so now you're just going to start learning what you've been missing the whole time, right? You're going to start learning a strategy. We're starting with this one. You're going to start learning the patterns that you're looking for, right? You're going to start looking for your stop loss area. You're going to start, I can't stress this enough, you're going to start looking left, right? Always look left. In this area, man, did we drop already that far? I thought the next area was 10,770. So yeah, we seriously broke to the downside. But again, even with that drop, I'll have to look for another area below us, guys. Again, I'm not trading today. I've been up all night doing a 30-day boot camp, and I'm probably going to go to sleep here soon. But I really would love if you guys could take at least one trade today and tell me in the morning all about it. Why did you take it? What was your thought process going into it? All right? What was your confirmation? Right? Things like that. What was to the left? And right now, we're not going to have anything to the left. Even if we go out to the daily, we got nothing to the left of us on these charts. So the only thing you're going to have to the left of you now is what's already to the left of you, right? So the only information you're going to have now is this information, okay? So if you break down, right, this is going to be your new ceiling, and if you break up, this will be your new floor. All right, this is all you're going to have as far as looking to the left goes until you get back up in this area, right? Somewhere in here. This looks like our old sport. But, so yeah, guys, if you guys have got any questions, if you guys could do that, that would be great. Just to kind of give you guys a feel to see if you're learning what I'm telling you. I would just focus, if it gives you the opportunity to try and go long today, either take like a long trade in a range or short the range because there were big green bars leading up to the range. You see what I'm saying? Just try and do something. It doesn't matter if it's right, doesn't matter if you lose. Just what matters is that you were confident to take the trade because of X, Y, and Z. If it didn't work, you tell me why tomorrow. We'll look at it and I could say, okay, this is why it didn't work. Okay? If that sounds good, guys, I would really appreciate you guys if you did that. But I'm gonna.
So, where do you want us to put that information? I mean, in other words, I can't even place a trade yet because my deposit didn't hit. But I did take
Oh, that's
screenshots of my charts, and I know why I would have taken trades. Do you want us to put that in the homework or just on the chat?
Actually, do you still have Thinkorswim?
Yeah.
You could go to your demo account there, just switch it over to demo, and you could trade the futures on there and practice.
All right. I'll work
The
on
only
that too.
reason I didn't want to stick with Thinkorswim because they are like a year behind everybody else. So right now, to trade one contract of the MNQ, they want $2,500 in your account. Just like
Well, the thing with that is, I don't know how to place stops on that.
on Thinkorswim.
Yeah.
Oh man, well I'll do a video on that too because eventually we'll
Right.
use Thinkorswim too
Okay.
going forward.
Thank you. Thank you for today.
You need anything, anybody? Bocce or Jimmy?
Thank you, Bang Bang.
You're welcome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Jason's writing right now. 1 second.
Jason, okay, yeah. I called you Jimmy. I'm sorry.
He said, "Have a great day, everyone." Thanks, Bang.
Thank you, Jason. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, have a good one.